Hey guys, welcome into today's video. Today we're going to be testing out the new Fenty Beauty Eaze Drop Blur and Smooth Skin Tint. I have mine in the shade 2. We are going to be doing a wear test. I'm pretty sure that's the entire intro, so let's hop right into it. Okay, I'm taking this from the Sephora website, and I want to talk a little bit about the product and how much it costs and all of that good stuff, and then we're going to apply it to both sides of my face, but in different ways. It says in product details, it's light coverage, long wear tint stick with a creamy smooth texture that instantly blurs while melting into the skin for a natural finish. It's supposed to be light to medium coverage, cream formula. It says it's a crease-proof formula that delivers a blurred, smooth, second skin finish that resists fading and transferring. It's easy to use. The stick helps with all-day hydration and contains color-true pigments that resist oxidation. Plus, it's 100% recyclable. This does come in 25 shades and it retails for $35. It's actually only 0.32 fluid ounces, so it's not a full fluid ounce. And the product was made in Italy. So I'm looking over how to use it, and it says suggested usage, and there's a way to apply it for lighter coverage and there's a way to apply it for fuller coverage. But it does say that you should really kind of prep your face first and then let it sink in. So I'm going into my little mini of the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. I bet you I can probably use this up. I'm really trying to like pan this little mini. And usually with skin sticks, I feel like I really need to hydrate my face because they're usually on the drier side for me, and I have not gotten along with a lot of skin sticks. But you know, when Fenty comes out with a product, I do want to try it. And I just ordered her new blush shades in her cream blush compacts, so they actually should be getting here today for same-day delivery. While that's sinking in, I want to talk a little bit about how they say to apply it. So for lighter coverage, they actually say to apply it directly to your face, across your cheeks, forehead, nose, and chin, and then blend in with your fingers. Or it says use a brush to push the product in. But it says for fuller coverage, you want to load the product directly onto the brush and then you blend where needed. And the more pressure you apply when you swipe, the more coverage you get. Here is the packaging of the component. This does have a 12-month shelf life on it. I hope that this is going to be a good shade for me. Knowing that it comes in 25 shades and that I got shade 2 makes me a little bit nervous, but it looks like a really good shade for me. And shade 2 is described with light with neutral undertones. And they have nothing here for fair. It starts at the lightest shade. Color 1 is light with cool neutral undertones. I feel like either one of those shades would work for me. And then shade 3 is light with warm undertones. So they have good undertones. They go from cool, neutral, warm, but they don't have anything listed for fair. So everything kind of starts at light. So the formula, really, really emollient. Very creamy, much creamier than a lot of other foundation sticks I have tried. I mean, of course, they're calling this a tint stick. So I kind of imagine, even though they call it light to medium coverage, it's going to be more on the light side. It's maybe a little bit drying on the back of my hand. It looks like it's kind of maybe not sinking into my pores the greatest and kind of catching on some of the hairs on the back of my hand. I feel like this is sunk in pretty good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the left side of my face and I'm gonna apply it directly to my face, and then I'm gonna blend it in with a brush. And then this side, I'm gonna apply directly to the brush and I'm gonna push the product into my face. So I'm gonna apply it, I think that much. And I'm just taking like a flat kabuki brush and I'm gonna do my normal swiping motions so we can see what maybe lighter coverage looks like. That's it applied with just that little bit. This is a very, very light skin stick. Very light coverage, especially how much I put on, especially how I kind of swiped it. So that isn't really pushing the product into your face very much. And it's a really natural finish. It's kind of your skin, but better. It is very beautiful on the skin. It actually feels really, really hydrating. It's the lightest skin stick or foundation stick that I have ever tried. It's quite nice. It doesn't even look like I'm wearing foundation. Okay, the next side, I want to apply it directly. It looks like it's depositing quite a bit of product. I think that I'm going to kind of just coat the whole brush, and then I'm going to go in by pouncing motions. that definitely gives much more coverage to the skin. I feel like though you might want to coat it a second time. I feel like I did kind of run out of product by the time I was reaching my forehead. It's definitely fuller coverage, but it doesn't sink into my skin as nicely. This application looks a little bit more like it's sitting on top of my face, especially in my more kind of textured areas and my pores. It definitely looks a little heavy around my nose, but we are gonna leave it like this. The only thing that I wanna do is try and like build it up to really match the coverage on the right side. And I'm gonna do that by, again, just brushing it in, which lessens the amount of coverage that you're really gonna get across your complexion. Even with that second layer, it's still a much more natural finish. So my preference is to apply directly to the face and really brush it in with a brush. Or even for more natural finish, I would say even like blending it in with your fingers. This is a stick that I feel like is creamy enough that you could blend in with your fingers. I do not personally like to blend any products in with my fingers as it relates to complexion products. That's just not my preference. I prefer to use a brush or a sponge. Even with that second layer, you guys, it's buildable, but it's still natural. So it does add an additional amount of coverage without looking too heavy. This is my preferred method. My skin type is combo in the center, and I'm definitely drier on the outer perimeters of my face. So I feel like it looks heavier, definitely kind of on the outer perimeters of my face where I'm a little bit drier. It's definitely heavier here, and it definitely emphasizes more of my texture around this side of my face. I'm looking in the mirror and I so prefer this side. Like if you're really looking for a natural finish that really just kind of blurs, I feel like this is really what you want to go with. Heavier foundations don't typically look that good on me. They accentuate things. I don't look good with full coverage foundations. I'm 38, I have texture, I have fine lines, I have all that good stuff. So I'm staying away from heavier foundations these days, and I feel like you can use this stick on mature skin. This is just the application that I feel like would work best for mature skin. Okay, I just threw on some concealer and I'm gonna set it. So I would typically set the center of my face every single day. So that's how I want to test it. If you guys are on the drier skin side and you don't really set your face, I feel like with this foundation, you could get away with it because it's a pretty dry formula. I mean, stick foundations just generally are on the drier side, and it's a really natural finish. It doesn't feel like heavy. This doesn't feel like a foundation you would really need to set down. So if you don't do that, I feel like it would be okay. I personally need to set the center of my face. If I don't, most foundations will slip off of my nose really quickly throughout the day. So I am using the Fenty Pro Filter in Butter, and I'm just gonna set under my eyes, my nose. I do a little bit on my forehead because I do get pretty oily there, and then I always do my chin because I do get really oily on my chin. So after I powdered it, the foundation that I pounced into the skin, especially right here, just looks really heavy, does not look good on me, but this side looks great. It just added an extra bit of coverage. It kind of smoothed things out, but the heavier side made it look kind of even more heavy. For my semi-mature skin, I'm definitely liking the lighter bit of coverage where you're applying it directly to your face and then kind of swiping the coverage on. Just less is more for me with this product. Okay, I'm going to finish up the rest of my makeup and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna do a check-in before I go and do the wear test. So I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, welcome back. I have finished my complexion. I was actually testing out some new products from Phytosurgeons, so that video is also going to be up. But the complexion is not my favorite. I've definitely been filming for about 45 minutes. The foundation or skin stick has had time to really sit there. This side of my face looks incredibly dry, especially like right here around my nose and the more textured areas. I have a lot of like texture here, just generally pores, but still some texture. This side of my complexion is so much nicer. It's just smoother. It looks more natural. It even has a tiny bit of radiance, like especially on my forehead where I didn't powder the entire forehead. I kind of just went like this in the center where I tend to get a little bit more oily. It's like night and day is what I'm kind of looking at. Like this side is so beautiful and just much more natural and the amount of coverage that I would typically like, and this side looks like I was trying too hard. Even though I feel like I went in with a pretty hefty layer of moisturizer because I did put on SPF and moisturizer before filming, and then I threw on the Bobbi Brown vitamin enriched face base. You guys did see that. So if you do have like drier skin, my recommendation right now is going to be that this is a beautiful skin stick if you apply it directly to your face and you swipe on the thin layer that you applied to your face with a pretty fluffy brush or a foundation brush. But of course, you guys, we are going to be doing the wear test. So right now, where's my phone? It is 12:30 in the afternoon. I'm gonna try and do check-ins on my phone, but I'm gonna come back at least 8 hours later. So by 8:30, I'll come in and check in. That is a good day's wear test. And I'm not gonna hold any punches. I'm gonna put this foundation to the test. I'm gonna touch it. I'm gonna go outside. I'm gonna do everything that I normally would. So when we come back, you guys, you'll get my final thoughts. So I will see you then. Welcome back to future me. It is, I think, almost exactly 8:30. It is 8:29 p.m. So I've had this on for a full, well, over 8 hours because I was filming that other video. I'm already gonna tell you that this is not a foundation that I can see myself loving, unfortunately, and I find that a lot with stick foundations. That's just me and my skin. You guys, can you see how oily I got? Like how much oils peeped through on my forehead and my nose, everywhere that I get oily, which I was telling you guys earlier in the video. But then close up, the drier parts of my face look even drier. Sometimes when I put on a foundation initially, it doesn't look super dry, but it can get drier during the day, or the foundation can have the opposite effect and it can tend to get more dewy as the day goes on, or it can sink into my skin or my oils. Meshing with the foundation kind of rehydrate it and make it look even better. There's lots of different things that can happen during an 8-hour wear test. Unfortunately, I just don't think it had a positive result. It's definitely not overly oil controlling, and also the powder didn't really keep my oils at bay either. I actually wasn't outside very much today. I do have 2 videos for you guys. This first one here is me just showing the foundation in true light so you guys can see it out in natural sunlight. And then I did do a 4-hour check-in, so it was right at 4:30. I did another video and also tried to do it in natural light, and at that time my oils weren't peeking through as much as they are now. I would say that my oils right now are much more pronounced than they are a lot of the time, even with kind of dewier foundations. If you have oily skin, I definitely feel like the same situation is gonna happen for you. You're gonna get a lot of oils that peek through. I just don't like how it looks in the drier parts of my face, especially right here across my cheeks. I don't like the way that the foundation stick looks, and around my nose. I like the left side of my complexion still so much better than I do the right side. I don't know that I can necessarily tell that I applied more coverage or a heavier layer of foundation or skin stick on this side of my face than my left side. I just really prefer the way the complexion looks on this side. I kind of feel like this side faded off a little bit more evenly, and it's just less dry in the area that I was kind of telling you guys that it was looking a little bit dry. So it's pretty much doing all the things that I wouldn't want it to do. It's really not like blurring my complexion. My oils are peeking through in my more oily places, and then my more dry places, it's looking a little bit more dry. However, I do want to continue testing this product where I just apply kind of a thin layer the same way and just one layer instead of building it up the way that I did the left side the first time. That is how I normally would apply my foundation anyway. I can tell you guys right away, this is probably not a skin stick that is gonna become one of my holy grails or my absolute favorite, just the way that it's looking on first impressions on my first try on. Those are my final thoughts, you guys, but I'd love to hear in the comments whether or not you've tried this and whether it's worked for you or what experience you've had with the foundation. I'd also love to hear if you're interested in picking it up. I always hope you find these videos helpful. I'm out of here for today, you guys, and I hope to catch you all in my next video. Bye.